Now let's go behind the rock screen.
You're welcome to come on in. We'll bring out the moonshine, start telling lies and calling up the women. But no talk about racing. Come on.
Hey everybody, Josh here with the Dirt Court Jesters podcast. Glad to have Anthony Gaskins, the driver of the 00 Spook Racing 410 sprint car out of Parkersburg, West Virginia. Anthony, thanks for jumping on.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
I want to start out first because I've seen some different images of your car, and so I'm not entirely clear. Is it the 00 or is it Spook? Is Spook your number?
So it's 00. My first year, I didn't know what number I wanted to be, and my nickname's been Spook for 20 plus years. So I said, let's do up 00. So it was spelled out SP00K.
Okay.
And last year we decided to change it up a little bit and make it the 00 with the Spook underneath. So that's how it came about.
That's where I saw the images of both of those, and that's where the question come from. So I got to follow it up.
Sure.
How'd you get the nickname?
So I started as a junior fireman back in '94. We were doing a search and rescue scenario, and long story short, it was dark. I come blaring out of the woods and spooked everybody. And since '94, I was 12 years old. It's stuck. So that's, some people more so 10 years ago took it the wrong way. But today it's some people still, look at me funny, but it is what it is.
That sounds like a good story to get a good nickname. I don't see the problem there at all.
No. And it was a good story, but of course, you take Spook and, and a black person together, that's usually, that's just racist, blah, blah, blah. But, it is what it is. I don't give a shit about that stuff.
But with the way you pointed out the story, I mean, you scared everybody, right? So that completely makes sense.
Yes.
So you've worked in fire, EMS, you've had your hand in track safety, you were a dispatcher, a police officer, now a race car driver.
Mm-hmm.
What haven't you done?
I don't know.
Did I touch on everything, or is there stuff missing in there?
Well, I've never been a tow truck driver.
Plenty of interactions with them, right?
Yes. Yeah. Let's see, I did law enforcement for about 4 years, EMS now for 21, and fire department, if I count the junior years, let's see, it'd be 32 years.
Wow, nice.
So,
well done. So we'll talk about that. That'll put me right into the next question. Is safety something that we talk about on here pretty regularly, besides wicker bills? If you've heard any, wicker bills seems to come up all the time, but safety is definitely something else that I like to harp on. And I know something that's huge that you're into. I've seen some of the postings and the hand that you've had, and specifically in track safety. So can you kind of let me know how that all got started for you, and what you're doing to continue to improve the safety at racetracks?
Yeah, so I started with the track safety stuff about 2000. Well, the first time I did any track safety was back in 1999 at a track called Skyline Speedway here in Stewart, Ohio. I was there on and off for a few years. It was just a few of us guys from the from the rescue squad that would just go up there volunteer. They had an S10 pickup truck with what we called a bubblegum rotating light on top, and a bunch of crates in the bed and fire extinguishers. And that's how it all started. And since then, I've been with Ohio Valley Speedway since 2014. Pretty consistent every year. and then West Virginia Motor Speedway, on and off, of course. I've been with them for, a handful of events. I've covered I-77 prior to them shutting down. Same with Legendary Hilltop here in Marietta, Ohio, and Atomic Speedway. I've done a few shows with those folks. So obviously being in the public service all my life, that's, what I've always dedicated myself to. And when you're around these racetracks, you kind of take on the friendship, and which then leads to, being close like family with these drivers. And so I took all that and said, you know what, this is something that needs to be done here in the Middle Ohio Valley. It's never been done. We used to just do it with volunteer fire departments, but of course, manpower is way down in every spectrum of emergency services. And getting ambulances is tough as well. So I decided 4 years ago, I believe it's been, that I would start an actual safety team. I was trying to do there for a year or two. I was doing it basically by myself with a few people and very little equipment. Since then, I've gotten Matheny Motors, Matheny Truck Company, on board, which they sponsored me the pickup truck. We all got together, bought a skid unit. It's full of 75 gallons of foam. We got a couple other smaller sponsors on board that got us some Purple K extinguishers. Atlantic Fire Equipment gave me a set of Hearst Jaws of Life and cutters. Got some DeWalt tools. So formed a team, put everything together, and that was just a passion that I had, and a kind of a want was to build a team around here, such as Lawrenceburg Fire Rescue, and MedStar, which follows High Limit. So I got a bunch of firemen and EMTs and medics, and we come together and said, let's do this. And I had a medical director on board, which passed away about a year ago from a brain tumor. But luckily, I was able to work out a contract with our local EMS agency here in Ohio to cover Skyline, Belpre EMS. And then Camden Clark Medical Center, which is WU Medicine, I guess, ambulance service that covers Ohio Valley Speedway now. So got the ambulance part taken care of, and then we just do the safety. So yeah, that's what, just a passion that I had, and all the drivers, I've been around them, for many years, and I see them as family. And, once I got into racing myself, they were like, man, that stinks. You're not going to be around. There was a huge trust and bond there that, we had built together, and which made me feel good. I'm nobody special, but I did my research, did my studying, and with just the passion part, I was good. I'm good at it. So I took a lot of pride in it. That was the biggest thing. So yeah, and it's brought me to where I am today as far as being a driver myself.
So you've got some good folks in place then, because you've got a pretty good schedule on your hands coming into 2025. That, besides your work in the fire service, I mean, you got a lot of eggs in the basket, sir.
Yes. Yeah. So I left my EMS job full time 3 years ago. I was able to lock my retirement and said, I'm done. So I'm actually a general manager for, we sell Bobcat equipment, which is obviously where my big sponsor comes from. And we do Can-Am, side-by-side, Sea-Doo, watercraft, Honda, and Kawasaki and Indian motorcycles. So with me, that's how I got into that, was him being my sponsor. And he said, what do you think about being my general manager? I know you want out of the EMS world. And so I took it, and, I'm thankful for that. I get Fridays I take off at noon, and Saturdays I'm off. So that allows me to run my full schedule.
Nice. So how exactly did you get into racing? Was it the safety aspect? Is that what got you in, or did you race go-karts as a kid, or how did you start racing?
Well, up until I set my big ass in a 410 sprint car, I'd never driven a race car in my life. I just being around it most of my life, and the safety team, sitting there watching these sprint cars go in circles, I'm thinking, man, that's badass. I really, really want to do that. And the opportunity fell in front of me, and I said, it's now or never. I was 39 years old. I'm 42. Yeah, I was 39. I said, I ain't getting no younger. So I took the opportunity, and here we are.
That's awesome. I don't know, for you, it'd be a dream for me to hop in a car, right? So I don't know if that was a dream for you, obviously, and that worked out for you. The first time you got in that car and you fired that motor, what was that feeling?
Well, between everything that I've done in my life, the adrenaline of running a cardiac arrest to running into a burning building with the ceiling falling in to, stopping someone who's armed. The adrenaline of that car rumbling was just nothing like it. I mean, and I don't know, some people may view it different, but it's kind of the same danger. So, even going into any scenario of going into a scene is unknown. So it's just like strapping that race car. It's unknown. You don't know, what's going to happen, or there's just a lot of what ifs. So
Sure.
I kind of was in the mindset of the same thing. I mean, there's a lot of what ifs, but if I don't do it, then I'll never know. So it is what it is.
That's a cool way to start, though. I mean, right? It's just going straight for the gusto and the fork.
Yeah, and I'm 6'2" and 300 pounds. So people were like, "There ain't no way you're going to fit your big ass in a sprint car." And I said, "Watch me."
Well, how tall is Dale Blaney? He's 6'4",
6'5".
Yeah, size is size. Like, I don't care how you shake it out.
Yeah,
He's a pretty big dude. And
yeah.
He didn't do too bad himself in a sprint car.
No, and that's what I race. I race his GF1s.
Okay.
That he used to run. So as a matter of fact, both cars that I have is his old cars.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
So
Very cool.
Yeah.
I was a big lowrider fan. Still am.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
OVSCA Rookie of the Year in 2023. And if I'm not mistaken, that led to 5 top 10s and 7th in OVSCA points in 2024. Is that correct?
Yes. Yep.
So how did that go? The transition from your Rookie of the Year in 2023 to pretty solid finishes there in 2024 with OVSCA.
Well, I set a goal, and my goal was I wanted to win one heat race and finish in the top 10. And I thought that was pretty reasonable. I came close twice to winning a couple heat races, one at Skyline Speedway and one at Ohio Valley Speedway. And Dave Knuckles, he won that heat race at the Skyline, and Corey Crabtree had passed me on a few laps in at the Ohio Valley Speedway and got that one. But yeah, I set a couple goals and put my mind to it, and I finished in the top 10. So, and I got a taste of, winning a heat race, but I was still overall pretty happy with what we finished. In the short amount of time I've been doing this, and I think what made me a little more ballsier and feeling more confident is we debuted in a high limit race at Portsmouth,
Okay.
and that really, running with that caliber of drivers was just it was an eye opener. It was just awesome. I mean, OVSCA, it's a pretty decent series. Great guys. But, going between the OVSCA and the high limit with those caliber of guys just kind of pushes you a little bit.
Yeah, just a more of a shitter get off the pot kind of moment.
Exactly. Yeah. And plus I had the bragging rights because I got to qualify with, I knew as soon as I said that, Casey Kane.
Oh,
So that was pretty cool.
nice. Very cool. Very cool. Of the 5 top 10s that you had in 2024, which one would you say was the most rewarding?
Probably Wayne County Speedway. I would say up there. Yeah, the caliber of guys again that night was good, and I had to earn it. A couple of those, some of the drivers just fell out, and I got lucky. It took me a while to start pushing the throttle and learning, riding that brake, going through the turns, and I still had I still have a ton to learn. But that one was probably the most rewarding. That one I had to work for.
What was the first year you hopped into 410?
My first year would have been 2022.
Wow.
Yeah, 22. We got my car done. I took it to Skyline Speedway, did 5 laps, and then I went to my first race, which was at West Virginia Motor Speedway with the Fast Series.
Just jumping right into the fire.
Yeah. So it was. It took a bit for Aaron Fry to talk me into it. I said, "Man, you're crazier than hell. This place is huge." I'm there doing safety, and because I took my car there to make some laps after the race, and he says, "Man, we're starting 24. There's 23." He said, "Suit up." I said, "I don't know. I'd only done less than a handful of laps in this damn thing," and he brought me over a receiver because I didn't have one. He said, "Here you go sign the paper." So at that point, I didn't figure I had any turning back.
How did that night end up? That first night?
I ain't gonna lie. So Anthony Macri was there that night, and he won, obviously.
Yeah, he does that a lot.
Yeah. He passed me like I was a bull stuck under a turtle stuck under a bull. It was wild. I mean, my lap times, I was averaging like 110, 112 miles an hour on this big ass track, and these guys are turning 140, 150 mile an hour. Yeah. And it was funny because a couple people were like, "Boy, you were awful slow out there," and I said, "Where were you sitting?" So it was quite the experience, and I'm thankful that I did it because I've always, as many times I worked that track, I always wanted the opportunity to race there. And I didn't technically race, I drove there, but it was still, I was a part of it, and that was pretty awesome. So
You're running full time with the Fast Series here in 2025. You've got a handful of OVSCA races as well, but full time with Fast in 2025. How did that come about, and are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it 100%. So, excuse me. OVSCA, the biggest thing there is, and it's nothing against those drivers. Like I said, they're phenomenal guys. But you've got a handful that are up there in age, and then you got a handful of the new guys. So, in my opinion, if I want to further, then I got to branch out. So that's my whole reason behind it. And two, you know, Randy, which is the director of OVSCA, wasn't able to get any more sponsors or anything. The starting pay was $200. So the advancement is just it's more local than advancement. And I'm wanting to branch out a little bit, try, even though I'm still newer at this point, I'm ready to advance and learn more, travel. So that's the biggest thing. And we're racing here at our local track, Ohio Valley Speedway. I'm 10 minutes from there. That's my home track. And
Okay.
of course, all my sponsors are here at home. So, that's why we're going to hit these local OVSCA races to be able to be involved with those guys. And I didn't want to give up OVSCA full time, but obviously I can't be two places at once. So, when we go up to PA and Indiana, there's some hellacious drivers up there. So again, I just the aspect and what I learned from running with those guys at High Limit, that one race is just, like you said, shit or get off the pot. So I feel like this is going to push me to do better and get faster, and it'll help myself and my team. We'll be able to learn some new things. It's just, and there's a great group of guys there. Aaron Fry's awesome, the series director there. And the benefits that come along with Fast is phenomenal. So we'd even talked about the All-Stars, but they're a lot further north of me. So traveling is 4 to 6 hours. So our budget is not nowhere near that, and just my guys' work schedules. We had to take a serious look at this schedule with Fast to make it happen. So that's
you guys are going to be you're going to hit Millstream, I think 3 or 4 times.
I believe so. Yeah.
Which is up there in Northwest Ohio, and then you're going to hit Atomic a couple times as well. So that's going to pull you pretty far away. Not to mention you got Terre Haute, Paragon, Lincoln Park. You're going to have some travel in there, but Fast now under the Power Eye banner. I would imagine that helps a little bit as far as travel is concerned and the towing cost.
Yeah, and the package that they offer with traveling and towing and whatnot, it's awesome. And the insurance that they're offering for the drivers, and it when we sat down and did some numbers, it just made sense.
Completely understand that. So you've got 40 races right now, I believe, on your schedule.
Mm-hmm.
What is the race that you're most looking forward to?
That flag right behind you.
Yeah. I was hoping that was going to be your answer. I had a feeling.
Yeah.
I assume you've never been at Eldora before as far as racing as a driver.
No, I've been going to the Kings Royal this will be my 13th year as a spectator. And that's been something that's been on my bucket list. I said, I don't give a shit if it's on a wagon. a dolly, whatever. I want on something on wheels to go around that track. And I said when I first started racing, kind of jokingly, but kind of wasn't, I said, after my first 5 years, we're going to go run the Kings Royal. I'm I'm a year shy of that, but we got a totally refreshed motor. So I said, let's do it now. And I'm going with no expectations, myself and the team. I said, let's just go with no expectations. Let's just have fun, experience it, and turn some laps. Again, those caliber of guys, I'm nowhere near that, nor do I have that kind of equipment. But I'm confident enough that I can go up there and stay out of their way, and just have fun. That's my biggest thing is just staying out of their way and letting them do their thing. And they're experienced enough that if I'm running high, they'll pass me no matter wherever I'm at. They'll pass me, and that's fine. And hell, who knows? They're hopefully not, but I could be in there and somebody gets bottled up and takes out half the field. There's always something that could happen.
Sure.
Again, and hell, I may make the show, Wednesday night, Thursday night. You just never know.
Yep. Yeah, that's why you go to the racetrack. So you're going to be there both nights with High Limit on the 16th and the 17th of July, and then 18th and 19th when that's sanctioned by the World of Outlaws. You're going to be there all 4 nights at Eldora for the Kings Royal. That's correct?
Correct. That's the plan.
Very nice.
Yep.
Very nice. We usually roll in there Tuesday evening, and we're there usually till Sunday morning. So,
yep,
can't say enough.
Funny.
It's just it's such a blast. That and the 4 Crown Nationals. I mean, just great weeks. Really
Yeah.
there at Eldora.
Yeah, I've never been to the Nationals. I'd like to. It's always been the Kings Royal and the World 100. That's for the last 13 years. Those are the 2 races. And one of these years, I'm going to take the World off and go to the Nationals there.
Well, so last year I went to the Dream. Excuse me, and I was very impressed. It felt like a big race, but it wasn't. You've been to the World and you've been to Kings Royal, so you know how it can be a pain in the butt to get into concessions, into the restroom, just to get around. It can be difficult.
Yeah.
And although the Dream felt like a big race, I had no issues getting in and out of anything. I plan on going back again this year for that. But 4 Crown Nationals is something. I think me and my oldest, 18 or 19, I think we started going, and we go every year. And the weather can get kind of cool, but the racing's really good. And it's not, like I said, like Kings Royal or World 100 weekend where it's just packed beyond packed.
Yeah.
And you can still get around and enjoy it and be comfortable and all that stuff. It's, I'm up for any racing on dirt, whether it's late models or non-wing or wing. Give it all to me.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, looking forward to running into you at Eldora at the Kings Royal if I don't run into you before, because I'll definitely be down there walking around. But do you have goals for 2025? Specifically, obviously, with Fast, since you're running full time with them, but not only just Fast, but in your entire season as well.
Yeah. So my number one goals don't hurt the motor. I've only got one.
Well, yeah, definitely don't want to do that.
No, I really didn't set any high expect or bars, whatever you want to call it, this year. I think the biggest thing I want to do this year is just learn. I just want to take this year for myself and my team to learn. Like I said, we're going to be running with some higher caliber guys. and the one time with high limit versus now full time with essentially some of them just as well as just as good as some of those guys in high limit and World of Outlaws. Just take this year and learn and experience some new tracks. A lot of new tracks, some new ways of doing things. I still want to win at least a heat race, but I feel like I'm kind of starting all over again. With going to the next level, if you will. So that's my biggest thing this season is just learning, experiencing, and just having fun.
All great things. Getting close to the end here. Names that you put on the car and on the trailer. Awesome idea that you got. Helps you get up and down the road. Can you explain how important sponsorship is for you and your team, and how the name idea came about?
So I did the names, started last year. I actually seen it on a couple late model guys that did it. I was like, you know what, that's not a bad idea. So I thought some of the folks who want to help you but can't afford like a sponsorship spot, hell, why not put their name on the car? I said, that makes sense. So we did it, and last year I did, I think 30 or 40, and sold them all out in a week. This year I did 75 at $30 a pop. That's, what was it, $2,275 or something like that. That's a hotel room for a couple nights. That's fuel in the truck. That's a couple tires. I mean, it can be used for a lot of things. So even just that little bit from each person, adds up. And sponsorships, there's no way I could do this without their help. I've been very blessed with sponsors. My very first sponsor was High Tech Special Effects. He's the fella who does all the special effects at Eldora, Charlotte, several different venues. I mean, Lady Gaga, NASCAR, he does it all. And that was just badass for him to even want to, was even interested. And I met him at West Virginia Motor Speedway one night and said, I'm going to be in one of these one time or someday. And he said, well, you let me know. I let him know, and he sent me a check. I said, this is pretty cool.
Nice.
So that started that, and I know everybody and their brother, and people were just willing to jump in and help me. And I've got more sponsors than I've got room on the car. So, that's some people call it luck. I call it a blessing.
Hey, it's a good problem to have.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I always do this with everybody, and you, sir, are no different. We've got some lightning round questions for you.
Okay.
I've got 10 of them, and the last one is not going to be a quick answer. It'll be hopefully it'll be a good answer. And you'll see when I get to it. But we're going to start out with that. Question number 1: celebrity crush growing up.
Cameron Diaz.
All right. Favorite cartoon.
SpongeBob.
Favorite pro wrestler.
Oh boy. Probably Happy Hulk Hogan.
All right. Favorite song.
Favorite song. That would have to be favorite song. Boy, I had a lot of them.
Hey, that's all right.
Country Boy Can't Survive by Hank Williams Jr.
Oh, very nice, very nice. One location that you have saved on the maps on your phone.
I don't know. Home. I don't know. Nowhere in particular.
That's all right. Favorite vacation spot.
Oh, anywhere in a mountain with a stream with a trout pole.
All right. Something very few people know about you.
I'm white from the waist down. uh,
That won't be topped ever. That will never be topped. If you could own one car, what would it be?
One car. And one car, what would it be? Probably a Mustang.
Interesting. So I will tell you that if anybody ever asked me this question, it'd be a 1989 Mustang GT hatchback.
Yeah, I could see. Yeah,
And part of that's when I was a kid growing up, my dad had one, and I can remember us going down State Route 67, and I felt like in the back seat, he'd shift it because, of course, it was manual. And I felt like I was just stuck in the back of the seat of that car. Just love that car.
I guarantee it.
White top with the gray bottom, and it had like I want to say it had like a blue trim. Like, oh man, love that car.
Yeah, Stingrays was my favorite Mustang.
Okay. What is your go-to meal?
Oh well, hell, fried chicken.
Can't go wrong with that. Do you have a special place, a favorite place that you get your fried chicken?
Had to be the crispy chicken at KFC.
Okay. All right. What is the funniest story you have from the racetrack? I'm sure you got plenty. 'Cause we've all been around the track a time or two.
Yeah.
There's always a bunch of stories going around.
Yeah. I'll have to go outside. My wife's sitting in here, but
you can pick another one. That's fine.
No. Boy, I don't know. Oh, okay. So I owned a 98 Crown Vic, and it was an old Interceptor. And we was down at the High Valley Speedway one night, and of course, it was after a race, and we were all hanging out, having some clear and a couple beers, and I decided that I was going to take that thing off the exit backwards.
Oh no!
So, I mean, I wasn't in reverse. I hit it. I went onto the track off the, on the exit. So of course, being the fire department, I had my siren in there, and I played Dixie over the PA, and I started at the other corner of the pits, and I just let her eat. Yeah, Duke's a hazard, and about 75 miles an hour, and she went airborne.
Was you able to drive it after that?
Oh yeah, very impressively, yes. Yeah, I've got the video still floating around there. It's quite a few years ago, but yeah, it was pretty cool.
Those Crown Vics were tanks.
Oh boy, I loved it. Loved it.
I didn't feel the safest inside the cab of them, but you could run over anything with them.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
That's very good. Anthony, before I let you go, sponsors you'd like to thank, and where can everybody follow you on social media?
So my social media is my Facebook's just Anthony Gaskins. My that's really all I've got for social media. My sponsors, let me pull them up here because I don't want to forget anybody, and I will if I don't look.
All good.
Let's see here. So, all seasons equipment out of Parkersburg and New Martinsville, West Virginia. Bobcat of Parkersburg and New Martinsville, West Virginia. McPeak engines, race engines, which he races 410s as well. Wayne McPeak, the 1C MC.
Yep.
That's another. Sorry, I know I'm going backwards, but
They're good.
he's another reason why I got into racing. So he always drove GF1s, and we've been close for several years. And he gave me the deal that I couldn't pass up. Car, spare parts, everything, motor, blah blah blah. And he kicks himself in the ass for selling me this motor, but it's one of the best motors he's ever had. But he gave me the whole package deal for just a little bit more than what I could have bought a whole new chassis. So that's that helped me obviously tremendously to be able to get started into this. But I just wanted to throw that out there for him, and he's helped us a ton through the last few years of this whole racing ordeal. So I got to thank him the most.
That's a good person to have help you. I have seen or heard that name more than once.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Let's see, Dream Builders Home Construction LLC. They're out of here just on the other side of Belpre, Ohio. Family Tradition Transportation. He's out of Racine, Ohio. Pfeiffer's Towing and Recovery. They're here in Mineral Wells, West Virginia. And, of course, my guy, High Tech Special Effects with Randy Bast. Dompkin Brothers. They have those must be 21 to enter joints. They take care of all my racing fuel. Mountaineer Machine and Repair. They're out of Mineral Wells as well. They help me out a lot with quite a few different things. And then I took on a couple new sponsors this season. And Murphy's Mobile Pressure Washing. So that's Ricky Peterson Jr. That's actually his business there. He's helped me out a ton with getting stuff that I need for the car. Just a lot of things. He's been a big help. Healthy Hustle. They're a nutrition place, which is going to be part of my dieting plan. Let's see, am I forgetting anybody? B to Z Graphics. That fellow there, Zach Yost, he's a photographer here local. He's been doing all my graphics and stuff like that. And I think that, I'm sorry, Elite Security Insulation. That's a new sponsor on board this season. He's a new sponsor. So I believe that covers everybody as far as sponsors that I've been very blessed to have on board.
Just kind of backing up myself here, you talk about the drivers that have helped you out, and this is a conversation I've had with other people. Just what sets dirt racing apart from other major sports is how the drivers and teams kind of, obviously there's anomalies, right? But how they work together to help each other out, to get to the track, to be competitive, and how the interaction with drivers and the fans is unlike anything else. Dirt racing just, in my opinion, it just sets it apart.
100%. And that's one thing that, I appreciate a lot with the drivers is the interactions with each other and fans. I kind of see it as, and I do anything and everything that I can to be within the public. So, like if there's a show that I can take my car to, or we got our mall show coming up this Sunday where our cars go in the mall for a week. And that to me is not bragging rights, but that is to lighten up someone's day. These kids, that see these cars, hell, that's how that's part of our future. If we teach these kids as kids and get them interested, then, that's what carries on everything throughout future and life. So, anything that, I can do, or, a lot of other drivers are the same way, to interact with the public, that's huge. As much as just walking up to the stands to sit with your family to watch the next feature or whatever, and some kid comes up and, wants to give you a hug or shake your hand or, whatever, it's, it's just cool to see that and drivers interact with them.
Yeah, and like you said, it helps build and keep dirt track racing alive, because all the help anybody can get, whether it's drivers or teams or series or tracks. I mean,
absolutely,
certainly need the fans there to help
keep
the gate open.
Yeah, and that's the thing with the drivers and the drivers versus drivers is, one guy comes off of the track and needs a tire change. You'll see 3 or 4 teams running up there helping him. A few times I've went up and said, hey, I broke a bolt on, something stupid, and here, take it, go. And, you see them at the next race, you bring them a new one or another one, and, they remember that. So, that's one thing that's awesome about sprint car drivers is they all stick together. Like, they all help each other. That's what I love about it.
Great part of the sport for sure.
Yeah.
Anthony, I've took up enough of your time. I really appreciate you coming on, man. It was great. Thanks for hopping in. Hope you had a good time yourself.
Oh, absolutely. I appreciate you having me.
Everybody, this is Josh with the Dirt Court Jesters podcast, and we hope to see you guys at the track.